So, we got some ESPN ranking rosters for the 2024 season to look at today, guys. So, starting off right away, we have the New York Giants, who are coming in here with the worst roster in the NFL. It's funny, I just made a Madden video on my Madden channel, That Mike Gamer 2, actually. And I went ahead and simmed the whole entire season for the New York Giants, and they actually, I think they went like 6-11 or something. Like, they have a horrendous roster. They really do. But their biggest strength is the defensive front. Their biggest weakness is their secondary. And X factors for 2024 is right tackle Evan Neal. Interesting. Okay. Now, good thing is ESPN usually does not bash us too hard when it comes to stuff like this. They're very honest when it comes to this kind of stuff. So I'm not expecting us to be anywhere near the bottom of the list here. And I'm not saying that as a joke. I really do not expect it. So Broncos are 31. We have the Commanders, who are 30th. Okay. Panthers 29th. Kind of expected. Cardinals 28. Patriots 27. I'll be honest, I was kind of expecting the Patriots to be a little bit like worse on this list. I don't know, the Patriots are a weird squad where it's like, I like Gerard Mayo and I very much am rooting for him to be successful, you know, as a head coach, but at the same time I feel like that squad is so kind of iffy. I feel like it's either going to be really like decent and probably like around 500, or it's going to be so bad, and it's going to be one of the worst squads in the NFL. It's either one of the two. At the end of the day, Raiders are 26th. Again, like I think the Raiders squad personally, I think they're worse than the Commanders. And again, that might be an unpopular take, but I think they're worse than the Commanders. I think that the Raiders squad. I think the Panthers, honestly, will probably be the worst squad. No. I'm not going to disagree with this. I, for the most part, I think this is correct. Again, Raiders, I think, have a really bad squad. Outside Devontae Adams. Although I am a Minshew fan, I don't think Minshew's going to change around this squad and fix this whole situation. But, hey, who knows? All right, so Tennessee Titans. 25. 24 is the Chargers. Okay. 23 is the Vikings. 22 is the Bucks. We have 21 is the Colts. Okay. 20 is the Saints. Okay. Again, like I said, I mean, I might put these guys in different orders, but this is why I've said many times, again, like I said earlier in this video, ESPN usually does a good job of not being outrageous with their predictions, or with their rankings, excuse me. 19 is the Atlanta Falcons. Okay. 18 is the Pittsburgh Steelers. I would arguably say the Pittsburgh Steelers should be higher on this list. I feel like they should be higher up than 18. And the reason why I say that is because if they do, which I think they will do, is just sought to use Justin Fields like a Taysom Hill type option, I think they can be really successful with it. I think they can actually really do good things if they just use Justin Fields as like Taysom Hill and run a Wildcat type offense. And then just rely on their defense to get the job done, which, again, their defense is really good. They have really good edge rushers. They have really good, guys get out to the quarterback. So I think there's a lot of pluses when it comes to the Steelers defense and when it comes to the Steelers roster this year, just because they fix their offensive line and, again, Justin Fields. But if they go Russell Wilson, then I agree. 17, Chicago. 16, Seattle. Seattle is such a weird team because it's either Geno Smith or bust. Jacksonville is 15. 14 is the Rams. Packers is 13. I'm actually kind of surprised. I like the Packers squad. Really good defense. Young receiving core that can develop and become really good, or continue to become better. Already really good. So I'm actually surprised they're so low on so low on the Packers, I meant to say. Brownies number 12. Okay. 11 is Miami. 10 is Philadelphia. Kind of surprised. Based on just rosters, I feel like Philly does have an amazing roster. And they do every single season. I feel like based on just the rosters, not anything else, I feel like Philly should be top 5. Like, just play based on players. Because they always have great off seasons, add a lot of great options. But, okay. Number 9 is the Buffalo Bills. At least, they did not freaking put this squad above us. That's all I will say. But in what way, by the way, is Buffalo better than Philly roster-wise? I'm not saying team-wise. I'm saying roster-wise. How can you tell me that the Eagles are worse roster-wise than the Bills? The Bills, roster-wise, is absolutely freaking awful. They're horrendous. They lost all their receivers. Yes, they did take Keanu Coleman in, the second round, I believe? I want to say second round? No, second round, because they traded back. But, like, other than that, other than Josh Allen, they really are not that scary. I know they do have James Cook at running back, but they're not that scary at all. Houston Texans, number 8. Okay, I agree with that. 7 is the Bengals. Okay, so they have us at number 7 here. Our biggest strength is wide receiver. Our biggest weakness is stop with this stupid crap. Why do everyone want to trash so hard on Zach Moss and Chase Brown? It's going to be so hilarious when we end the season off with Chase Brown becoming a top 15, top 20 running back. I can't wait for it. I really cannot wait for Chase Brown to become a top 20 running back. And all these news publications saying our biggest weakness is running back. I can't wait to hear this, guys. Let me hear this at the end of the year when Chase Brown is the top 20 freaking running back and Zach Moss finishes as a top 10. Come on now. X Factors is Cam Taylor-Britt and DJ Turner. Nah, I disagree. I think, Cam Taylor-Britt is one of the best in the league. I don't really see him as an X Factor. I think the X Factor is Dax Hill. If Dax Hill can really take a step up and become that, number 2, number 3 cornerback we need him to be, I think he is the biggest X Factor going into this season. And maybe Trent Brown, you could make the argument just because, again, we need that right tackle to protect Joe Burrow. But I think it's really going to come down to how good or how well Dax Hill goes ahead and transitions to the cornerback position. Number 6 is the Cowboys. Number 5 is the Lions. 4 is the Jets. Okay. 3 is the Ravens. 2 is the Chiefs. And 1 is the Niners. Okay. Yeah, I mean, overall-wise, based on just roster, I'm not even going to argue this one. They do have a good roster. Baltimore does. I'm not going to argue that one. The Jets, I like our roster better than the Ravens, but for how ESPN's going to look at it, I'm not really against that concept. I think the Jets on paper have one of the best rosters as well. It just comes down to can their coaching staff execute it. Lions, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good rosters in the NFL. There really is. Yeah, I'm not really against this, really, at this point. Okay, wait. Non-starter to no. Receiver, Trenton Irwin. How is he not a starter? I'm pretty sure this upcoming season, he's going to be the starting slot receiver for us. Now, that doesn't mean we won't have rotation and have other guys in there as well. But he will be the starting slot receiver because we already know we don't use Chuck Sizzle at all. Chuck Sizzle is going to be, just punt returner guy. And Jermaine Burton's an outside receiver. And the same thing with Yoshi. So I know I said many times, and I still will repeat this, that Mike Gesicki played 90% in the slot last year for the Patriots, and he also played a lot of slot for the Miami Dolphins throughout his career. But at the same time, though, to start off the season, I think Trenton Irwin will be the starting slot guy. So I disagree that he's a non-starter to no. I think he is, in theory, the starter. He's going to be the slot guy to start off the season. But again, like I said, for ESPN, I'm not really mad about this list. I think it's they did a pretty good job. There's some teams I would change left and right again, but for ESPN, pretty good. Tell me down below your thoughts, opinions, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.